Welcome, I'm David.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Desmonds Donders. Hello, and welcome to January's collaboration, the Banners collaboration. The people who are in the collaboration, or part of the collaboration, will be trundling past in the usual logo, and then we shall be taking a look at 5 places near us which we think you ought to see. Unmissable places near us. I'll be starting and probably finishing as I do the outro at the end, where I ask you to watch all the other videos in the collaboration playlist. Beckwiths is a village in Moray on the east bank of the River Spey. The village enjoys a rich musical and cultural history. The village owes its existence to Alexander Gordon, the 4th Duke of Gordon. Beckwiths was founded in 1776 and is one of the best examples of a planned village. It is a conservation area, with most of the buildings in the High Street listed as being of historical or architectural interest. It has a commemorative garden of famous Fockabarians situated at the entrance to Beckwiths Cricket Park. There is, of course, Castle Gordon with its tea rooms, wall garden, and the lake, which is available to residents and visitors alike. Beckwiths has a library, gym and many shops. There is a museum on the High Street which delves into the full history of the village.
My turn. The Glenlivet Estate is a distillery. Start again. The Glenlivet Distillery is a distillery near Ballindalloch in Moray, Scotland, that produces single malt Scotch whisky. It is the oldest legal distillery in the parish of Glenlivet. Yeah, it would be now. And the production place of Scottish whisky of the same name. It was founded in 1824 and has operated almost continuously since. The distillery remained open through the Great Depression, and its only closure came during World War II. The Glenlivet Distillery has grown in the post-war period to become one of the biggest single malt distilleries. The Glenlivet brand is the biggest selling single malt whisky in the United States and the second biggest selling single malt brand globally. The Glenlivet Distillery, Scotland, sits in a wild and remote glen. Its history laced with drama and intrigue. So in every bottle of whisky we make, we capture as much of the spirit of the glen as we can. We invite you to the heart of Scotland's whisky making country to explore the turbulent history of the whisky smugglers, delve into the intriguing mysteries of distilling, and sample the golden magic that is Glenlivet. Well, you like it.
I'm shocked that you're doing the distilleries. Cullen, the birthplace of Cullen skink. It sits on the coast in northeast Scotland. The Banffshire coast is one of the world's outstanding coastlines, not just for its natural beauty with plentiful wildlife — there are dolphins, seals, puffins and other seabirds in abundance — but for its strong community feeling. Cullen has stunning sandy beaches and seascapes, coast paths, an historic harbour designed by Thomas Telford, and great shops and eateries and places to stay, all set against a stunning backdrop of old railway viaducts, Castle Hill viewpoint and the Bin of Cullen. Cullen is a former royal borough. The organs of the wife of Robert the Bruce are said to have been buried in its old kirk after her death in Cullen Castle. Robert the Bruce made an annual payment to the village in gratitude for the treatment of his wife's body, and is returned south for burial. A recent non-payment of this sum by the government was challenged and settled in the village's favour. The village is noted for Cullen skink and its former railway bridges, 2 of which are now part of the National Cycle Network.
The Ardmore Distillery sits at the highest point of the Northern Railway line.
Again?
Yeah! 600 feet above sea level, close to the small village of Kennethmont. The proximity to the railway line allowed founder Adam Ttxela to transport materials from Glasgow to this remote corner of Aberdeenshire, helping the distillery to flourish. Almost unchanged from the moment he made his dream a reality, the water is still drawn from a naturally rising spring that sits on the 1,500-foot tall Knockhandy Hill. A large Victorian distillery, Ardmore has a heft and scale which is surprising given the gentle, roaring rural surroundings. It is also a rarity in terms of style. It is a peaty Highland malt. For years it was the last distillery to fly this particular flag. It was also the second last distillery to retain coal fires under its stills. Okay, next one is Royal Lochnagar.
No. I'm doing one distillery.
If you must, darling.
Royal Lochnagar Distillery is a single malt Scotch whisky distillery based on the Abergeldy estate near Balmoral in Royal Deeside. It is close to the mountain Lochnagar. The distillery is in the Highland whisky producing area of Scotland. The distillery holds a royal warrant, hence the name. It was awarded its royal warrant in 1848 when John Begg invited Prince Albert to visit the distillery. The first licensed Lochnagar distillery was set up on the north side of the river in 1826 by a former illicit distiller, but his competitors soon burned it down. A second distillery was built by John Begg on the south bank in 1845. This is the distillery we now know. Originally called New Lochnagar, it was renamed following the royal visit. Today it retains the traditional distillery appearance with its two pagoda kiln heads and techniques like the open mash tun. There is a visitor centre for the appreciation of the single malt Scotch whisky. And on a personal note, probably my favourite.
Well, as you know, we visit distilleries and we decided to visit Royal Lochnagar. And as you may well all be aware, David loves whisky. I don't. So what normally happens is we go to the visit, we do the tour, I get the car keys, and then David takes his dram, but he also usually gets mine. We were in the viewing room because where Royal Lochnagar is, you actually see the barrels that are all being stored behind a glass partition, and everybody gets their dram. I always taste it and go bleh, and then he gets the rest of it. Without thinking, David downed his one and grabbed my glass. It was empty. I liked it. So I think it's the one and only time that David has actually shouted at me inside a distillery for drinking his second partake of very tasty, lovely whisky. But as I say, it's the one and only time I've actually drank it, and it did go down very well, but I've never touched it since. So that's our personal story on Royal Lochnagar.
I'm glad I got to do at least one distillery this video. But thank you for joining us for this Banners collaboration. There's a few other videos to watch in the playlist, and we hope you will. And the people taking part will be scrolling past again as I talk. But thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time on a Desmonds, Donders or Banners collab video. Thank you for watching Desmonds, Donders. And remember, please take nothing but memories and leave nothing but tracks. Please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, and hopefully we'll see you next time.